we'll do nominations and whatnot at the next meeting. And I guess I probably should say that Director Nyquist and Director Mattingly were unable to be here tonight, so it's just the three amigos up here. Next, we're going to talk about school funding. And this is a topic that everyone's been paying very close attention to. The state, the money that we got from the state isn't sufficient for the inflation that we're all experiencing. Every time we go to the grocery store, every time we go to the gas station, we're all feeling it. And everyone across the board. And so one of the things that we wanted to make everyone aware of is there's an opportunity to go and petition the state, and specifically Kate Brown, to release some of the emergency education fund. Kotek, I'm sorry, Governor Kotek. And there's several districts that are going there. We're going to encourage all of the community members and all the staff to do that. There's currently $1 billion, give or take, in an emergency fund. I think we kind of qualify. And so we've seen the layoffs in districts all across the state, right? And so far, we've been able to keep those at bay and keep it at minimum. I'm afraid that some of that may not be able to continue. So if we could find a way to convince the governor to free up some funds, it would certainly help our district out as well as the rest of the ones in the state. So I'm going to ask that each of you try to find information. We're going to see if it's possible for us. It's a political thing, and so we have to be careful at the district what we can put in a political manner. But we're going to try to get the information out to you as we all can so everyone can sign the petition and then try to get as much weight behind that as we can to try to convince the governor that we should release some of those funds. Andy, did you have any comments on that?
Sent out by Salem Kaiser School District this last winter, and they recognized that there just wasn't enough for them to make ends meet, and I would support it as well. Multiple districts have joined this effort, and I think it's a good idea.
Okay, and just so that you know, I've asked Chris to look into if we're able to post that on the website or not, so she's going to work on that. Now for superintendent comments.
So I'd like to roll it all into one, Brad. I'd like to go to, I think Chris has the PowerPoint, since I'm not technically able to do it with the current setup. Zoom seems to not be working, so if we could put the PowerPoint up on the board there, we'll talk through it.
Hey, hang on a second, we're getting that pulled up. It's going to take a second. It's been a day for Gremlins. We're going to have to reload, Andy, so it'll be just another minute. board member reports, Chris? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to board member reports, and we'll come back to that here in just a moment. Sean, do you have anything?
I didn't have anything specifically. I just wanted to say that it was an honor to be able to be part of the graduation ceremonies for the 3 high schools, to be involved in that and just see the students and their families being able to be there and celebrate the achievements that they reached and the hard effort that they put in, both the students and the families. Just was something that was an honor to be a part of. So congratulations to the graduates, and thank you for letting me be a part of that.
I would agree with that. One of the, there's not a lot of fun in this volunteer gig. One of the fun is going to the graduations and seeing the kids really celebrate an accomplishment and move on with their lives. And so that's very exciting and honored to be part of that. Also, I'd like to say the middle school grading committee is getting close to having some things determined, which is good. Also, I know we're moving forward on other policies, hoping to make the place better, and hopefully we can get that all done soon.
Thanks, Pete. Also want to echo the graduation. Like I said, we spent a lot of hours, a lot of meetings, and that is really the fun part. We get to see the kids graduate, and we released, I joke with my wife, we released a whole bunch of new adults into the system today, and off they run, and it'll be exciting to see what they do and how they progress, and wish them really well in their lives. Rafael, do you want to go ahead and give your report?
I don't have much to announce since our year is currently coming to an end. But I can say I'd like to point out our great accomplishments towards rebuilding our school, rebuilding our amazing community, which is all thanks to our students, our staff, and everybody who supports them, such as you guys. And we really appreciate everyone who works hard. And this is not to mention many, if not all of our students are working hard to finish off the year strong with their finals. And I can say that many students are looking forward to enjoying a new experience with our schedule and can't wait to start the next year strong. I would also like to shout out our seniors who graduated as a class of 320. We really look towards them as idols and really hope that they will make it big as they want to make it. And I would like to introduce our new school board representative, Valeria. She will be taking over next year for the South's representative.
So, Rafael, I wanted to thank you for your service and being up here. I want to pass that down. Thank you so much for taking time to come and share with us from all the events going on at South Albany High School. We really appreciate you having us here. Andy, we have your PowerPoint up now, titled District Financial Information, June 10th, 2024.
All right, I'm just going to stay on my phone so that we don't have a lot of feedback. And I just verbally have to tell you, Chris, let me go to another screen. So we're going to have a budget hearing tonight, and we're going to be approving the final budget on the 24th. And so just want to take you guys through. This is budgeting and bargaining that we're updating here tonight. Challenge for the short. So on the slide that you guys can see in front of you right there, if you look at the 23 to 25 by deep, the blue represents so I've got a little delay here. The blue represents the 23-25 biennium that we're in. And that is, of course, as you can see, fairly low, given the gold kicker that went back to taxpayers. And that's in the upcoming year, we still face that revenue number. We did get an increase in the second year, but it is splitting that shorter stack into 2 years. Next slide, please. There has been comment about and questions about the board policy that the board has on the books that directs the superintendent to keep an 8% ending fund balance. There are multiple recommendations from organizations that serve Oregon school districts. The Oregon School Boards recommends 8%. The Oregon Education Association recommends 5%. Milliman, who does market actuarials for Moody's, that a district would be subject to review if we ever had a construction bond or if we wanted to join a PERS pool bond. They would come in and look at our books, and they really like to have 12%. We always have to remember 8% is approximately 1 month operating costs. And you guys will know, as well as many in the audience, about Silver Falls School District. And just recently, Newburgh had the same thing. Sherwood Schools had one very similar to that last year, where their ending fund balance tapered, got low, and then they could not end the year. Ending fund balance. Hang on.
And the gremlins are back. Yes.
So if you look at the next slide, you can see our ending fund balance over the last 4 years and our projected ending fund balance for the coming year. The projected ending fund balance is $10.6 million, and you can see that we are expending $5.1 million. In other words, we are declining in our ending fund balance to get through this next year. And if you remember from the budget hearing last year, you will recall that we did, in fact, plan to spend down our ending fund balance to get through this biennium. Next slide, please. As we look at the coming year, and we know what is most important, compensation is our first priority. The district has adjusted its budget throughout the 2 years to focus on this priority. We knew that this was coming. We also knew that all of our work groups, both our administrators, our teachers, and certainly our classified, showed that they had low salaries compared to other districts. So we began to go to work and clean that out. We have prioritized including canceling contracts, which included Maple Lawn, edX, Young Roots. We were also able to move some tech to ESSER this year, which cleared out the general fund as well. Next slide, please. This shows the annual inflation rate, both the current as well as the projected in the out years. And I believe you'll see there 2023 shows 4.5. The previous year was 8%. The previous year to that was 4.7%. And during that time, our certified have had 3.5, 2.5, 2, something like that. In other words, they lost about 10%. I think the number they showed us was 8.8% loss in actual purchasing power over that time. We have also done a study on our administration. We found well, and I think one of the things that happened there was just no one was really looking, and this district had not had a regular practice of going out and evaluating where people were compared to other districts. The teacher scale was shown to be better at the beginning steps, but by the time we get to the top steps, we were low. So we know that we're going to have to make moves there. Next slide, please. So one of the challenges we have when we start looking for efficiencies is that the big gray part of that pie is, I'm sorry, I don't see it up on your screen yet. I'm sure it'll get there.
It's there.
Okay. 81% of our expenditures are personnel. And this becomes the great challenge when it becomes very difficult to make a lot of cuts in the smaller pieces of the pie that can offset what we need to do in the big piece of the pie. So that becomes the real challenge. April and into May, we received multiple items that were given as offers to the district. We began to cost them. They have been impatient for us to make counter proposals. One of our first duties was to understand what is being asked and what those costs were for various proposals. You will recall we're spending down our ending fund balance by $5 million. The state gives us an extra $4 million. That is across the entire district. And right now we have so far estimated costs in their offer at about $20 million for year one. This is roughly equal to 201 licensed employees at an average cost of $103,000. Next slide, please. The GAEA has proposed a 12.35 COLA that in the first year would be just short of $7 million in costs. There are $14 million in other proposals, also in year one, and of course the total is $21 million. We would just like to emphasize that the district agrees with the GAEA that compensation is the primary thing we need to focus on. Next slide, please. These are just some of the articles that have been opened and the costs that we have calculated with those things. You can see, for example, in IEP's Article 18B at the bottom, $2.2 million. Next slide, please. Sped clerical help, $164,000. Class size and overload pay at the middle school estimated to be $780,000. Class size and overload pay at the high school, $2.5 million. Health insurance increase of 2.8. All of these are year one costs. And 7 additional nurses at $687,000. Next slide. And so here are the goals that we have as we enter bargaining. And we know that GAEA is truly thinking about how to make a better district. And I think that their language is coming from a place that they want to solve problems. We want to work with them to solve problems. But we simply are going to be well short of $20 million this coming year. So our focus will be on the longevity stipend, or it's the top step for our senior teachers. We know we're very low there, and we want to make sure that we begin to make a significant step there and then work forward. We want to move the cost of living at all spots on the scale, so that people are moved up. And then we want to catch up against that loss in the consumer price index. So that has different elements to it. To increase the longevity, where we need to work the most, is a focus. But we also want to come up with a plan that will bring people and make them whole to what they've lost over the last 3 years to the inflation that we showed. Next slide, please. So some consternation came out about the district working and had already given the AAA an increase that was greater than has been offered to the teachers. There is money that has been budgeted, but there is no agreement. We have not concluded that agreement at this time. The teachers in our district are the only, and of course we've just awarded PERS pickup to the classified. For many years, the teachers have had PERS picked up, but administrators and classified have not. So we are considering that, by the way, equals what is on the table for all teachers. First pickup for administrators is 6%. Currently, all teachers have been offered 6% with an additional 6% to go to 7% at longevity step. The district will not conclude an agreement with administrators for greater increases than GAEA receives. So, we want to be fair. We know that the administrators are behind as well. We did a salary position by position analysis, and it was disturbing that we were that far behind. And again, I think it comes back to what I said before. I do not believe the district has looked very closely at what other districts have been awarding you compensation. And so we have to go to work. But we want to do it fairly, and I think the fourth bullet there is very important that people understand. We will not conclude agreement and then pay teachers a lesser increase than administrators will receive. Next slide, please. There has been some consternation about the agreement that was signed last year. The district, we just want to make this clear, the district was asked last year to agree to implement a 90-minute prep on both days at both of the comprehensive high schools. The agreement that was reached did not include that because the district, knowing that we were in this very would not sign it. The agreement, as it is, was written by GAEA, and it was signed by the superintendent and the GAEA president. Next slide, please. This is the agreement that was signed on December 11th. GAPS and GAEA hereby agree to daily prep time for all teachers and GAPS commencing with the 24-25 school year. GAPS hereby agrees to a block schedule concept at its two comprehensive high schools. You will notice as you look through that, there is no 90-minute prep daily that is referenced. That was at my request, but at their agreement. Next slide, please. Long term, we want to make sure that we build a sustainable financial plan in spite of our existing challenges. If you go back and look at the first slide, and don't go yet, don't go there, Chris, you will notice that, go forward one slide. You will notice, there we are. We want to make sure that the district becomes stable, where we can meet the program with the present, and make sure that we are prepared for challenges down the road. Some of them are unseen. We want to pay our staff comparable salaries. We want to always be looking at that. We have work to do to provide technology to students and staff, maintain our buildings, purchase curriculum, even maintain existing sports facilities and fields. I am not sure how old, for example, our mobile equipment is, but I can see just as they noted, try to get into the corners of our playgrounds where there's grass. I know that it's in need of improvement. So we have to kind of keep all of those things in mind as we're working forward. Next slide. So, Dane, I'm not sure, is this the part where you begin to share?
Yes.
Okay, I will mute myself.
So last week, after we had the budget approved by our budget committee, and we had advertised and all the legal requirements to advertise the values in our approved budget, I received from ODE another funding cut. And so I wanted just to review with the board the changes we received mostly after we had started the budget together. And there were 3 of them. They're based on a variety of things. It's based on cuts in ADMW.
Recording in progress.
And changes in, the state has what they call carve-outs. So cuts or carve-outs. And the last one we got last week was $844,000. But total, it's $3.3 million. And At this time, I'm not recommending that we make any changes before adopting the budget because I'm watching many other components. We're watching unemployment to see what happens. We're watching the bargaining, and I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've never received funding changes from ODE like this. And so I know I'm not sure exactly the reason they're making changes, but they went back to 22, 23 and reduced our ADM from 22, 23. And that had never happened to me before where they went back 2 years. So at this time, it's easy within 10% for the board at some point to make a change. And because it's such a late notice just last week, I wanted to inform you, I want you to be aware, because it is 800,000. But I believe we move forward and adopt the budget and then see what we need to do.
Just to make that clear, that's basically 7 or 8 full-time equivalent teachers out.
Correct.
So is that something that potentially could be continuing in reducing the budget, or is there any indications on that one way or the other?
So normally now, we would not receive a change until next January when we had submitted our projected tax receipts and projected second quarter ADM. So I don't anticipate further funding changes from ODE, but changes to carve-outs aren't really linked to any component. You know, they were increasing the youth authority, and they were supporting schools who had lost funding cuts from charter schools. You know, it's just, change is not in our control.
So that was a redistribution?
Correct. So that was,
Seems
those
a little,
carve-outs are off the top. So it reduced by 2 million, the total then that gets distributed to schools based on the weighted ADM formula. And I can bring documents and share with you what that looks like.
so the carve-outs are created at the deal?
I believe so.
There are extension cords over there in that corner.
Just to jump in with what Lee's saying, one of the things that is clear, you can't go to motive, but this is certainly an irregular pattern of receiving cuts.
Okay. Do we have more on the funding cuts you want to cover?
I don't know if there's any further question.
No.
That's all we got.
Any questions? All right, then we'll, Mr. Mark Hanna, would you come up and present for Albany Option School?
a little wordy, but I think it covers what we strive to achieve at AOS. Basically, dealing with the AOS students holistically. For those of you that were at the board meeting, you heard that at graduation Friday night, that's something that we really impress upon our families, our students, and the staff do a great job of teaching the whole child, not just academically, but socially. This next slide is our demographics. We continue to grow each year, and the only thing that keeps us from continuing to grow beyond our current numbers is square footage. And so we try and we do limit our class sizes to the quality education model of 15 students, which I think is the number one reason that our students are successful. But with that being said, we max out those classrooms at that size, and we've actually increased by 30 students, adding the sophomore academy that I'll talk about in a minute. And we've increased our GED numbers also. This is our report card from last year. A couple of things I want to highlight here is our regular attenders, 20% below the state average, which continues to be a very large barrier for us to be successful with our students. And it's something that we're working on daily, and it will be something that we focus on with our funding sources in the future. Attendance, and it's not an AOS issue, it's an education issue, but it's a major factor. We feel at AOS if we can get the students in the building, they're going to be successful. The 5-year completion rate is 1% below the average, which is not okay. That's going to be one of the goals that I'll talk about briefly in a few minutes. And our goal is to increase that number where we exceed the Oregon average. And lastly on this slide, I want to bring to your attention the college-going number. That's 30%, which was 17% the year before. And the handout that I gave you shows that just college-bound, this year's number is 52%. And if you add the trade numbers, which are LB numbers, into that also, that number goes up to 66% of our graduating seniors are looking at college post-secondary. Does an amazing job, and we're very proud that this year he was able to articulate with Lane Community College, only because Lynn Benton doesn't have a construction trades articulation opportunity. So we went with Lane, and we're now offering college credit through Gabe's construction trades class articulated with Lane, and we had 2 seniors earn credit in that program this year. The career advisor position was a .5 position 2 years ago, last year. This year, I was able to fund it at full-time, and we hired Sarah Massey, and she's done an amazing job with our kids, and she is very much a part of the reason that we've got 66% of our seniors going to LB or post-secondary college opportunities. She meets with all of our kids. She works on scholarships with them. She'll sit down and do the FAFSA with them. It's really created another opportunity for our kids to break down that barrier of they're not college bound. They don't feel like they're college bound. Well, they are now feeling like they're college bound. Which leads me into the next point. Our College Now opportunities went from 0 2 years ago to 1 last year to 5 this year. We now offer 5 different College Now courses at all the options. And the obvious thing is we're offering high school students really inexpensive college credit. But I think the bigger picture of this is our students came to us not thinking that they were college-bound kids. And they sit in our classrooms in Albany Options taking college classes. And in their mind, they're now college kids. And it's breaking down that stigma that they're not college-bound to they're already in college, and it's making a difference. Our mental health services, we partner with North Albany Wellness and Linn County Mental Health to provide in-house, on-site mental health counseling for any student that needs it. And that's a major, major advantage that we have on our campus. Sophomore Academy, we created 3 years ago, and we've tweaked it every year. And this year, this coming fall, will be the first time that those students are going to remain at AOS. So the 30 students, 15 from South and 15 from West, will roll into our innovative high school program in the fall. So basically, our Sophomore Academy has become a training center for our students. And we found that when they return to their comprehensive high school, they were not successful, and they ended up back with us anyway. So we're just eliminating that as an option, and they're just going to stay with us. Students can return if they want to, and we'll have a couple probably out of the academy that will return to their comprehensive high school because they can, they're caught up. But I tell the families and I tell our staff, we want volunteers, we don't want hostages. So the students are, if they are back on track to graduate, they can return if they choose to. And then lastly, I reported to you folks fall last year, so it's been a long time since I've had the opportunity to be before you. We went through the accreditation process last year, and last spring we passed. And we're now an accredited high school through the spring of 2029. And it was a heavy lift, and I want to thank Kayla Crossan and my counselor, and Lori Holleran, who's my office manager, because it was a lot of work, and that process is not meant for 3 people. And even a small school like ours, that was a heavy lift, and I'm very proud. Our teachers crushed it. The students were awesome. And you'll see we got a 343 score when 300 is the minimum to pass. So we came out of it looking.
The focal groups are a little different at AOS, partly because of our size, and partly because we, as a school, choose to make our focal groups all of our students. And it makes sense because most of our students come to us behind the credits, many of them with mental health issues, and they come to us at risk of not graduating. That's why they come to us. So it makes sense that our focal groups are all of those kids. And I'm very proud that that's what we do with all of our goals. The implemented post-secondary plan, the completed rate, and students enrolled in advanced coursework are the 3 goals, and we focus those goals with every student. Barriers and challenge right there at the top, student attendance. You saw in our report card, I see it every day. Teachers. Are not completing either a diploma or a GED. So we have work to do. We're still feeling the after effects of COVID. I saw transcripts that I've never seen before in my career. Not poor transcripts, not transcripts where kids did poorly in class, blank transcripts where they didn't attend school. And that's something I've never seen before. And we're still seeing that, those effects. And then parent involvement is something that we're constantly working on, trying to get more people to.
Right now, we're just getting audio from the camera.
The support that I have there is mostly financial. Title I, Mission 98, our school improvement funds, and then APSF is awesome. If you're ever able to come to our senior awards, you'll see the amount of scholarship money that APSF funnels just to AOS students. It's phenomenal. I can't think. Goal number one, number of graduating GED students with an implemented post-secondary plan will increase by 45% over the next 3 years. We kind of pulled that 45% number out of the sky, and I can tell you we're crushing that number. Again, Sarah Massey, our teachers through our advisory, they are crushing it. Our students are crushing it, and that's a goal that I'm very, very confident that we are going to exceed. The things that we've done to work towards that, again, increase the Career Advisor 1.0. We implement an audience program through our ROCKS advisory, which is a career program. All students meet one-on-one with our career advisor. We implemented, again, with APSF's help, the Gallup Strengths Finder for all the 10th grade students. It's a career inventory, and we're going to continue to do that. And so if you've been through our sophomore academy, you will know what your strengths are, that you can work towards post-secondary options based on those strengths. The career advisor in helps with FAFSA. We require our sophomore students to take our construction trades course, and I have had several students push back on that.
that number needs to really say increase by 13%, because that's what we're short. And anything less than 2% means we have students that are not completing, and that's not okay. Those are all the things that we are doing to try and increase those numbers. All but two of our teachers have gone through informal QTEL training or school-wide in QTEL strategies. And I'm sending one of those two this summer to QTEL Institute. So we'll be down to just one teacher that does not have that training. We do all of our social emotional learning lessons through our ROCKS advisory. Our students meet career advisor, on-site mental health. We're a school-wide restorative justice school, so students come to us, mostly myself, but in the classroom also, and if they are having difficulties, poor choices, their behavior isn't what it needs to be for them to be successful, we offer them the opportunity to make it right. And it's really awesome to see, and it's probably been the best professional development that I've ever had in my career, and that happened right here in Malden. We have daily phone and email communication with, if you don't walk in the door, phone call goes on. And our families know Mama Pulis, she does a great job, and we are on them, so we know where they are when they're not there. I have weekly meetings with her and the counselor. We do a care team every 6 weeks, and we created and implemented a math GED course. We noted that many of our students will pass 3 and 4 tests, with that 4th test being math. So we just created a class, and it's taught by Danny Flores, who's our math teacher, Fitz is a math teacher who is our GED teacher, so we're just bombarding them with math curriculum and math help, and it's made a difference. The young man who graduated today, earned his GED today, that was down.
It was an honor to be part of the graduation. Your staff and youth very proud of the numbers. You know, I mean, you know, and the thing that you hear over and over again from the kids, the graduates, it's like, I didn't think I was going to be able to do this. I got the AOS. I had the support I needed. I achieved it, and now I'm proud of myself. That's a fantastic story, right? Yeah. You know, and so great work. I'm sure it's very fulfilling. You know, I mean, those kids, you can just feel the energy. You know, obviously I saw the graduation day to day, but it's just fantastic. So congratulations to your staff, and we are very fortunate to have the AOS in our district, because otherwise we have, we graduated 48 or something like that.
48 seniors.
You know, and also overall, I think it was school size 600. So I mean, it's like 8-9% of our population. It's a large group, and we're getting that group what they need to be successful in life. And that just is a huge statement and a huge importance, and something that I think we can.
At the time, you mentioned the Gallup Strengths Finder. Is that something you recently implemented? Is that something you've been doing for a while?
Brand new. And that was into that building for the first time. I took the position sight unseen, so I walked into that building, and my reaction is a little different than what it is now. But it works, and the students and the staff make it work.
It seems like the one problem spot you have is intensive attendance. What are you doing? What are some of the things you're doing to try to help improve that?
Well, Susie doesn't know this yet, but I have a little bit of FTE. I had a teacher go less than full time, and I have some ideas on what to do with that FTE that is going to specifically look at how we can improve attendance. And it's all about relationships and getting kids to work with our staff. And so if I have a person earmarked to be able to do this, I think we can make some improvements there. Thank you.
Okay, we are at the consent agenda.
I move to approve personnel classified as presented.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we move to minutes from May 20th, 2024.
I move to approve minutes as presented.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, some old business, nutrition services contract with Dave Scott.
This was presented to you last meeting, so this is process for approval.
Do you have any questions, John?
Move to approve Sodexo contract as presented.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. K2 Meadow Ridge lease agreement.
Boys and Girls Club was there.
And Sean.
And Sean, present last time, presented this to you. I think it's a great partnership and an opportunity for the district. So the recommendation is for approval of this as well.
Move to approve Meadow Ridge lease agreement as presented.
I will second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. K3 school support fee, City of Albany. Andy, that's yours if you want.
You guys will recall that we had a similar motion a couple months ago from the county, and we worked together on that one. It's the exact same government vehicle that allows property tax to be abated for 5 years, but we might have lost 15%.
When I do that.
And before we do, I was able to talk to Brian today, we informed him he wasn't able to be here, and he did read through these, and as he's our board expert on IEPs, he said they were all good and well aligned. So that was good.
I move to approve policies and administration regulations DBDB, IGBAF, IGBAF-AR, IGBAG, GBAA, JGAB, and JGAB TAC AR as presented.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Policies carried. administrative guidance?
Yes, this is just a general update to the board that was provided in your packet last week. I provided you both the first and second quarter and third quarter expenditures, and that report, progress monitors, progress monitoring, and some narrative updates as well. This will be posted to our website as well.
This is not requiring any motion, it's just informational.
Just informational.
Any questions on this? Okay, we're at, I don't see any bond business reports. Now it's, is that correct? So we're gonna move to, new business, and we had moved, let's back to my notes here. The budget period.
Continue with classified.
Well, we had moved, you were able to hear this, Andy, the budget hearing, which was D, we moved it to N1. And reading this, it says, as per ORS 294.453, the governing body must hold a budget hearing on the date specified in the public notice to receive citizens' testimony on the budget. Do we have a sign-up sheet? Does anyone want to speak about the budget? Going once.
Can you clarify what you mean?
If you had any questions or comments on the budget, you can share those with the board. The new budget will be up for voting on at the next board meeting. So if you had any questions or concerns or wanted to voice a particular aspect of the budget, this would be your time to do so. Absolutely. Do we have a microphone? Yeah, come on up here and use the voting, that's great. And you have 3 minutes, but.
I won't have it. My concern is that we are not prioritizing buying math curriculum at this time. I know that it's tight, and I know there are needs everywhere, but math is a core subject, and our kids are underperforming at rates that are like unimaginable. Like, we have less than a third of our students meeting requirements consistently, and I'm worried about that. And as a math teacher, I would really like to have a curriculum to work with. Thank you.
Anyone else? Don't be shy, come on.
I just wanted to
Oh,
make
please go ahead and state your name.
Dana Leffler. I just wanted to make a statement that your budget does not reflect the interest of GADA bargaining and membership.
Anyone else? Going once. Going twice. Public input is complete. So now we are at reduction in force classified.
So we had 17 classified positions that we eliminated for next year, and we were able to not lay off anyone, and it was all people that were retiring or left the district. And so there are 2 positions at the district office, 2 secretary 2 positions, classified positions in the school, 14 positions, 1 clerical 1 library assistant, and 12 SEAs, a classified special ed position, PCA, that was no longer needed. There were no cuts to transportation technology, nutrition services, or custodial, for a total of 17 classified positions, and there were 6 6 staff members who got moved in positions to another building. Only 4 got moved. 2 of them got to stay in their building in a similar position. So 4 got transferred to another building. Questions?
Just a statement. Obviously, cuts aren't good, but the idea that we went out and talked to the people and talked to the principals and shared with them our dilemma and worked through it the best way we could, I think that's something to be proud of, and I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, really appreciate the work that you and your staffs have done. It's been difficult, and I'm sure like you or Jane, not having to hear that we have another reduction in our budget before. Did not foresee, and I'm sure there's going to be some ramifications from that. It'll probably take some time to work out figure out what we have to do there, but compared to other districts, we have absolutely held our own, and I appreciate that. It's your hard work and forward thinking, and I'm hopeful that we can convince the governor to help out all of the districts with some of the reserve funds that are in their rainy day fund. Because I know that it's sunny outside, but if it was ever raining in the educational system, it's now. And so I'm hopeful that they will be able to give us some more money so that we can keep the wonderful, talented teachers that we have. We really do, like, you guys are awesome. And we'd love to pay you more money. And we all know that you need more money. The problem is we are at a fixed budget. And we're going to do the very best we can. So that said,
I move to approve reduction in forces as presented.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Board policy deletions. Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, these next group of policies relate to the district county health plan, and OSBA. Because there's a lot of quite small districts have a health plan that includes a lot of these policies in it, and these will be rolled into that plan, and therefore they have recommendations on policies with deletion. And to move into this is
That is correct.
Does anybody have any questions on this? All right. Board policy in 3. Was that part of the one above? Was that different?
Yes, the EBDA is rewritten as the health services plan from the first aid policy. The first aid and those other policies that are being deleted are rolled now into the health services plan. Yep. So this is just stating that we now have a health services plan, which is all the services that we've previously provided for students.
Okay. All right. Unless you have any future agenda items or other business information, I think we're at that point. Do we, just a clarification, do we adjourn before we?
Yes, we adjourn the state.
I didn't know if you did that before we.
Adjourn into the executive session.
Okay. The board will meet executive session with legal counsel pursuant to ORS 192.6602, subsection I, to review and evaluate the employment-related performance of the chief executive officer of any public body, a public officer, employee, or staff member who does not request an open hearing. With that said, I'm going to adjourn the open meeting, and we're going to take a 5-minute recess and go into executive session. Thank you all for being here. test 1, 2. One, two. Test 1, 2. 1, 2.